Yes, you did that.
Hey,
You did that.
thank
You got
you.
your tea?
I got my tea, girl.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so
I
much. This was fun. Who thought that talking about grief would be fun? But hey, it's a part of life. It's a
It's
part.
a part of life,
Yeah.
and I truly believe that the people who listen today and then will replay are going to be so blessed by your transparency and your authenticity. Just taking the time pr- to go through the practice with them just shows how genuine and how pure your love for people is. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun. Just to witness your growth, darling, has been amazing. It continues to inspire me. The past 5 years, I've been back in Dallas 5 years now this month,
Five. Wow. That
right?
went by so
It
fast.
did. And so much has happened in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Things that I did not see. So I've gone through a lot of pivotal points, right? Of just dealing with different types of grief, of who I am, and leaving my corporate career to dealing with an illness, a long-term illness. My father being ill, my mom having, her bouts, to working in a nonprofit in South Dallas. So all of that, I can tell you right now, if you told me 5 years ago in May, this is where your life would be, I'd be like, no, I don't know about that. But, we talked about intuition, and to me, that's synonymous to the Holy Spirit. But intuition has led me to these points. And so listening to that, and that's where the point of yoga and the yoga of awareness, Kundalini, comes from, in that it has just listen, right? And so it will tell you left, right. Does your body say, go do this, make this decision? And you're like, okay. And it prepared me to be in place, right? At the right
Yes.
time, in the right space, period.
I love that. I love that. Is there anything that you wish we had discussed or has come to mind since we wrapped the show that you want to highlight or discuss now?
Well, I like to share a positive for me. I
Okay.
remember when I started Kundalini yoga teacher training, one, it's not a weekend training. It's not a quick, it's over 6 to 9 months basically, right? Because it really
Mm-hmm.
wants you to go through it. When I started the journey, I was at a high. I had just quit my job and all that kind of good stuff, right? And I had come home, and then, probably 3 months into the journey, my dad was diagnosed with an inoperable, rare cancer. And my
Mm.
whole life was like, wait a minute. And what also brought me to Kundalini yoga was I'd asked for discipline, because I knew I wanted to transition into entrepreneurship. And I was like,
Yeah.
what discipline? Like, how am I going to get that? Right. I know how to do all these other things, but how do I get the discipline of the day in and day out in the grind? And so here I'm smack dab in the middle of it, and I could not quit. I'd invested a lot of money, but
Yeah.
also, but also I had a yoga teacher that was like, this is exactly what it's for. And so I'm dealing with, a father that's sick, and I'm navigating new terrain. I'm getting familiar back with my hometown. And then shortly after that, probably a year later, I started my job at a nonprofit. And I remember a month into the job, the Lord came to me and said, you are where you need to be when your dad transitions. Well, that's a very
Mhm.
sobering reality to face, right? You're like, wait a minute. Okay. But I'm praying for healing.
Yeah.
I'm praying for, so what kind of transformation are you talking about? Like, I don't know. And so I remember it was the day after Father's Day in 2022. I started a particular Kriya working on my solar plexus, which is all about confidence, willpower, steadfastness, right? And I was like, okay. And I'm talking about chakras here, guys. And so I start that, and I get to the first 40 days, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Get to the next 90 days. Cause I think on my 40-day journey, you and I were on a trip. And I was like, I
Yeah.
gotta get this in. So you did it with me. And then there was a night that I was like, I gotta dip away from the crowd, right? Turn around.
Yeah.
I gotta go finish this. And so 40 days goes by, and I'm like, okay, 90 days. I got to 120, and I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and make it 1,000. And so in Kundalini Yoga, 40 days is when you are resetting or releasing a habit. 90 days, you are establishing a new habit. 120 days, so on and so forth. And then 1,000 days, you've mastered it. And so March, no, it was May of this year. I think it was like May of this year. I got to 1,000 days. And I was like, okay. And so it was something that started prior, like at when my dad he was sick, but he was still upward and we were doing things and I had told him about it. And so I remember the day that he passed, I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I came home from the hospital and I was like, are you going to get on this floor? Are you going to continue this journey? Because this is that's an easy out, right? Like you don't have to
Yeah.
continue. And I was like, no, I'm going to continue. And so it is something that has been with me prior to his passing and then through the passing. And it was the one thing during certain days that it was hard to get out of bed that I was like,
Mm.
even if I didn't brush my teeth,
Yeah.
get on the floor and I'm going to
Yeah.
do this. And it was a commitment to myself. And so I just wanted to share that, that with time, things they evolve and they can support, there's certain things that can support you. And so I can only imagine my dad, right? Just being proud. My dad was a very proud man, especially of me, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he
Oh,
was.
couldn't think I could do anything. And I'm like, wow. And so that stays with me, right? That
Yeah.
confidence that I didn't necessarily have in myself has manifested from my dad to me. And it's like, oh, okay, well, we doing this thing. And so I want to also thank you for asking me that, last year, at the end of last year, hey, are you ready to teach? And I was like, well, what could I teach about? And that's when I started looking at the organs and
Hmm.
looking at how grief is in the body. And I said, well, there's a Kriya for that. Kundalini is all about the Kriyas. I was like, there's a Kriya for strengthening the heart. There's a Kriya for the adrenals. There's a Kriya for being angry, right? And dealing with grief and overcoming grief. And I said, well, here you are. There you go, Kendra. So thank you, Dr. Christie, for allowing that. And I truly, truly appreciate it. And now I teach at the Bonton Wellness Center in Bonton, South Dallas. So look,
Wow.
could not have predicted it, didn't plan it, honestly. It happened. And so I'm just walking by faith.
That's amazing. I mean, I remember us being in Mama Smith's house as
Yeah.
kids, just kind of running around, and you've always had a presence about you. And yes, Uncle James, listen, Kendra could not do any wrong. He did not play about his baby, his only child.
Mm-mm.
So I just want you to know that I'm proud of you as well.
Thank you.
And I really would love to reactivate yoga in the garden.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna put it out there to see what type of interest that we have, or it could be just you and I. Whoever shows up, shows
Yeah.
up. Doesn't
Absolutely.
matter to me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna get through this birthday month and then
So tell me before we close the after show, tell me at the 1,000 day mark,
yeah,
do you start back over or do you continue? What does that look like?
you can definitely continue. I continued for probably another 30 days. And then I said, okay, I want to address something different, right? And so I would do like a 40-day stint here or 11 days here. And so I'm preparing for my birthday. So I'll probably I started something this morning, so I'll continue through my birthday just to kind of usher that in. I'll see my Kundalini yoga teacher this weekend. I'm going to LA. Her name is Krishna Carr. She's 86 years old, y'all. She is sharp in mind, body, like muscles for days. And honestly, seeing women like that is she reminded me of Mama Smith, right? She's a little petite woman. And so I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay. And my grandmother lived to be 101. And so I started looking at what were the habits? What are the habits of
Yeah.
these women that get to be 101, right?
Right.
And something that's in common, it's lots of vegetables. There's a lot of hard work in working in a garden. And so there's the exercise of that, right? And so the same thing with Krishna. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see that. And I had a mentor a few years back, and she said, baby, if you spot it, you got it. So if you see it in somebody else, you absolutely have it in you. And I said, oh, okay, well,
Mm,
let me work on it now. So as I envision the woman that I want to be in the next 20, 40 years,
hmm
what are those actions and motions that are necessary? Yeah.
Well, here we are, y'all. Kendra Charisse Smith. I love you so
You.
much. I
I love
thank
you,
you.
darling.
Thank you. I thank you for sharing your heart. And I look forward to seeing I see millions of subscribers and viewers on some platform. Like I've seen that for the last couple of years. That's what prompted me to ask you if you're ready to start teaching. I
Yeah.
see that for you and or whatever it looks like for you to fulfill your purpose.
Yeah.
A million to somebody could be 100 to you. So
Mhm.
it's not about the number. So let me go back. I see a purposeful audience
Yeah.
that you are teaching to, no matter what that number is. I am learning to not put numbers on things because that
Mhm.
is not on us.
Yeah.
Being viral may not be it viral to other people's standards,
Yeah.
but viral in the kingdom of God. So
Oh,
Lord, thank you for correcting me on that. I see you and your purposeful work touching the hearts of many.
yeah.
And I
Thank
look forward
you.
to being a part of that. You're welcome.
Yay. Thank you, darling.
All right, and happy birthday
Thank
soon.
you.
I,
Hey.
I love you.
I love you too, darling.
Okay,
Take care.
bye-bye.
Bye.